Before we get into the episode today, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are gathered on and pay my respects to elders both past and present, as well as acknowledging any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander educators who are tuning in.
Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of Educator Yarns, where we delve into the inspiring stories and meaningful initiatives within the education sector. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Hayley Callaghan, an exceptional cultural officer and early childhood educator at Learning Pathways. Hayley hails from the Kamilaroi, Goondiwindi Country and has contributed profoundly to fostering cultural understanding within her community and workplace. Before we begin our conversation with Hayley, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We recognise and celebrate the enduring connection of all First Nations people to country, community and culture. Welcome, Hayley, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I've been reading about you and you've got 5 children, is that right?
Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I've got 2 and I feel like I can't.
Yes.
How old are your kids?
17, 12, 10, 7 and 2. So
wow.
yeah.
You're as tired as me, probably tighter. Yeah, you're a busy lady. Yeah. So I thought a good place for us to jump in might be for you to tell us a little bit about your journey from Goondiwindi to Toowoomba and how your cultural background has influenced your role at Learning Pathways.
Yeah. So I was born in Goondiwindi, but as a child we soon relocated out near Tara. So we actually grew up out there and I didn't know my grandparents or anything like that. So my mum didn't have much to do with her side of the family or anything. So it was a matter of jumping in and diving deep into my background and my history and my culture and really finding out who I am and where I'm from. So that has been a part of my journey, is discovering about my own self, and it's been really, really great. I've been really inspired. Yeah.
And how have you brought that with you into the centre that you're currently working at?
So there's a lot of families here that are Indigenous as well, and I feel like I've brought that huge sense of belonging into the centre, and I've let it be known that I am still learning a lot as well. So as I'm learning, I'm then embedding and I'm teaching, but I'm still so open to parents and other educators as well, like opinions and thoughts, and I'm very willing to take on board. But just having that confidence to sit down with the children and have a yarn and, you know, really get to know them more on that level culturally as well has been really nice.
So you're the cultural officer at your service. What are some key initiatives that you've implemented to promote cultural understanding at your centre?
Well, there's a few things that we have accomplished already. At the beginning of this year, I started a fundraiser through Wear It Yellow Children's Ground. We had a small amount of goal, but we managed to raise like over $500, and it was a very proud moment. But mainly what made me so proud was being able to connect to the parents and having them be so on board, and you know, I just felt a huge connection with them as well. So that was a huge accomplishment of what we've done. And we have a few other things in plan, like the Aboriginal 8 ways of learning pedagogy. I've been working alongside my educational leader, trying to unpack that articles and try and implement that throughout the centre as well. So that's exciting.
Hi everyone, I'm just jumping in quickly to remind you all that Beck and I have a series of upcoming events and workshops all throughout Queensland where we'll be yarning about the new ELF principles, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives and sustainability. will be in Toowoomba, Cairns, the Gold Coast, Brisbane, Mackay, Townsville, you name it, we'll be there. And we hope to see you all there. All right, take care, everyone. Enjoy the episode. And so your service also has a reconciliation action plan. What are some changes that you've seen as a result of having that in place?
Definitely the connection with families and caregivers. I think that was, don't want to say non-existent, but, there was very little communication with the parents in regards to culture, and all cultures too, like all around the world. And I feel like I've pretty much made a huge effort to make that connection with families and include them in their children's learning and their culture, and sort of come together. So
what are some ways that you've done that with the families, Hayley? Like what sort of things have you done that have fostered that relationship and connection?
Well, I make even the regular posts to communicate and asking them questions. So helping them, come forward with their opinions and what they think, like they're having a say into how their children's getting taught the culture. And there's a lot of days where they're getting invitations. We'll invite them in for just storytelling and reading. Like not a great deal has accepted, but I just think even the offer, they feel like they have that opportunity if they want to.
Yeah, that's great. And have you got a lot of staff engagement with your reconciliation action plan?
There's a few educators here that do get involved. That's also one of my goals, is to help and pretty much teach the other educators as well, so that they can be implementing more into the centre, because I feel like they probably would if they had the knowledge. So like that's another stepping stone, is trying to teach the educators and sit down with them and try and show them how they can be implementing the culture into their space as well.
Yeah, that's common, right? A lot of educators don't do it because they're not quite sure how to go about it. So I agree. And so it's really important to create culturally safe environments, as you've said. What are some ways that you've created a culturally safe environment? What does your space look like?
So I've got a hallway where I have my own space that I can set up provocations and displays. Like it's just as you walk into the foyer, and depending on events and dates and things like that, I like to switch it up. But I definitely put posters up and make sure that when families are walking in, they know that they are welcome and they do belong. And the other educators as well, like implementing their cultures and not making them feel left out either. But yeah, with the provocations, I try and aim for things that the children will engage in. So if the children are drawn to something, the parents are going to be right there behind them. And I think to a parent, anything that interests their child, they're going to follow. So I'd like to set up little things that, like nicky-nacky things and loose parts, so that it intrigues them, and they're reading about it then because they're coming over.
How do you collaborate with the educational leader and other cultural consultants or community members to include a cultural perspective at your place?
So me and my educational leader and management, we sit down regularly and discuss, events and programming, and like the 8 ways of learning pedagogy. We're going to start implementing that, and we pretty much brainstorm, and we've even spoken about bringing in a few of the older children and getting their thoughts and their opinions and bringing them into the space, and writing it all down and really unpacking what we can do more in the centre.
It sounds like everybody's on board and like they're really supportive of it. And I think that's what it takes. It shouldn't just be that one person. Like obviously
No,
like
I
you're
agree.
leading it, but you really want that investment from everybody in the team. And
Yeah.
it sounds like they're right there with you and behind you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, it sounds like you've had a really supportive environment that you're doing all of this in, and that's so key for Aboriginal educators working in mainstream early childhood services. But I'm just
Yeah.
curious to know, have you had any challenges or setbacks in your journey to including culture?
So one of the challenges has probably been, because I'm an educator as well, I get a certain amount of time to do the cultural stuff. And sometimes I feel like it's not enough time, but it's just because I'm, I feel like I could go for hours or, but it's just having the plan and the strategies to know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it and be prepared for my cultural time and things like that, so that I'm not like frazzled and don't know, what to do with my time.
Yeah.
Another challenge was probably making sure everybody feels a sense of belonging, and mainly the educators here. I think because I was so cultural awareness with the Indigenous education. I think some of the other educators maybe felt like I wasn't including the other cultures. So I had a little bit of a setback, but I definitely overcome it. I sat down with all the educators and found out all their cultures and all their opinions, and wrote down all the dates and, implementing all the cultures from all around the world, and made sure everybody knew that I was 100% on board, with, embedding all the cultures and, but yeah.
I think that's it. As a cultural officer, your role's not just to look at how you include Aboriginal perspectives. It's about everybody.
That's right.
I always tell people that I don't believe that my culture is any more important than anybody else's. We all have a right to our culture, to be proud of who we are and where we're from.
Exactly. Yeah.
And exactly the same way that we're going about embedding Aboriginal perspectives, it's the same process for including other cultures. The difference is that you include Aboriginal culture regardless if you have Aboriginal children, because you're teaching on Aboriginal land.
Yeah.
But what's good for one is good for everyone. So
yeah.
I think those processes that you're using, they can lend itself to the inclusion of all cultures. So I think that that's really key. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a go-to book or resource that you love, that you go to include culture in the centre regularly?
It's actually Koori curriculum. Sorry. The website. I get the regular emails and newsletter that I keep up to date. It's been probably one of my main sources. I read through everything and get ideas and just feel really inspired. All I have to do is read a few things and I feel like I'm ready to go. But
Thank you, Hayley. That's lovely to hear.
Have you got questions about nature play, sustainability, or how to meaningfully include Aboriginal culture in your early childhood program? Call 0253 000 306 and leave a voice message for the Educator Yarns podcast. Beck Birch from Bush Kindies Australia and Jessica Staines from the Koori curriculum will be answering your questions, offering practical advice, cultural guidance, and inspiring ideas to support your teaching and planning. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your program deeper, your question could shape future episodes and support other educators across the country. Dial in today at 0253 000 306.
And is there a person that's inspired you, maybe someone from your family or another educator that's inspired or supported you on your journey that you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely my dad. He has been a huge help regarding the culture and the knowledge. I don't see him very much, but when I do, he's always full of knowledge and he's a really good help. But also Tiffany Gessler. She comes into the centre regularly and also is an Indigenous woman, and she sits down with the children and does a few provocations and stuff like that. I've been to a few cultural events with her, and it's just really nice to have someone else come in, and she always makes time to chat, and she's been a huge inspiration and a help as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And what about your own children? Are they really proud of their culture? Is it something that they're curious about?
They are. They love the culture so much. My 7-year-old, any chance he gets, he's doing the dancing, and he's, talking about the bush tucker, and it's really nice to see that what I'm doing is going through to my children. My other son, he starts year 6 next year, and he actually bring home forms to apply to be the cultural leader for year 6 next year. And I was like, oh, that's so nice, like that is, because I felt like he was trying to be like me,
Yeah, that's right. You've inspired him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really proud moment. Yeah.
I think that's interesting to see, like within a few generations, like you've come from like, potentially like some older generations in your family not wanting to know or not wanting to talk about the culture, to yourself being interested in wanting to know more, and your children now being so passionate. And I think that's what it's about. Like it's about, like that sense of identity, that we should be proud of who we are, and that we should be able to celebrate who we are without that fear of discrimination.
Yeah, definitely.
And that I think all Australians to be able to be proud of our country's First Nations people and the culture that we have. It's such important work that you're doing. I just wanted to ask as well, like for educators that are listening, that are looking to enhance their cultural understanding or looking for ways that they could go about including Aboriginal perspectives in their service, what is some advice that you would give to them?
Well, what's probably worked best for me is getting outside, going outside and connecting to land, and really just being outdoors with nature. That has been a huge inspiration for me. But also community events, they've been so helpful, and you meet so many new people with so much knowledge. You're learning so many things. Any PDs that you can go to. So I'm a hands-on learner, so I like to get out and go and do things and get stuff done. So that is probably one of my biggest advices, is to sign up and go out and meet new people. And
I think professional learning is important, right, to grow your knowledge, and we're always learning. It's sort of one-stop shop. It's a continuous thing. We're actually coming to Toowoomba soon to do a workshop, so you never know, I might see you there. But I think it's that as well. It's about those relationships and the conversations that you have. And I always say like it's those connections and relationships that you have with people that I think are the greatest and the biggest learning experiences that you can have. So I agree with you. Is there anything else you wanted to share, Hayley, about your journey and your role before we wrap up our session today?
I don't think so. I'm just really loving it. I'm loving my journey here as cultural officer. I'm loving finding out my own background and who I am, and like the Aboriginal culture. And I'm learning things, like you said before, I'm learning things every day, but I think I'll be learning something every day for the rest of my life. Like there's so much to learn, and I'm so my mind is so open to all the beliefs and the all the amazing things that there is in the Aboriginal culture, and I love it. Like I love learning it, and I'm happy to be able to be then teaching it. Yeah,
well said. Thanks so much, Hayley, for being here, and congratulations on your nomination. It's very well deserved, and I think you're having a profound impact on the children and most definitely the families at your service that you're attending that you're working at. So congratulations again, and thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. To find out more information about the Koori curriculum and how we can best support you in your early learning service, visit www.kooricurriculum.com.